Hi. So there's something that I want to say, and I'm going to try to make this video quick, which is that you can't understand anything about psychology or behavior without looking at evolution. And I want to give you two examples of that. One is that, well, I don't know why she's not sitting.
Why you want to sit?
Because I'm talking about you.
Oh?
Yeah, I want to make this a quick video. So the first example is that this is the only person I've ever met who didn't know who Drake was, and she just learned today. Because I asked her to play Drake's latest album, I said Drake, because I was giving artists I wanted to play, and I said Drake, and she gave me an iced tea, and I go, what? No, Drake, and she goes, drink? Sorry, that's not even a good impression of her accent, but and anyway, so she looks up Drake and she goes, is this who you're talking about? And she was so confused, and I was so confused, and it was a really difficult few minutes, because 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, because I didn't know whether she was joking or not. And the guy from the memes, for instance, she thought was just like some random person, so we've kind of been talking about this all day. She didn't know who Drake was, and she seemed a little bit bothered by my teasing, even though, of course, she didn't think that she should be bothered by it, and so denied being bothered by it. That's the first story, and I'm going to relate the two stories. That's the first story. The second story is, last night my dad was telling me that Mormons, according to my dad, are told that once they die, they will become gods in another universe. So if I'm a Mormon, once I die, my own universe that I can govern, that I will be the god of. And when he said that, and he said to me that that's how they attract followers, is that there's this big promise that you'll become a god in another universe. The promise of paradise, promise of 72 virgins, that I can understand. But the promise of being God in another universe, I don't understand how that could actually compel anyone. And if you look at it through the lens of evolution, both stories, in the case of Clémence, by being teased about not knowing something that everyone else in your group, any group that she might consider herself as belonging to, knows about, you are reminding her that she doesn't sort of belong to the group, or you're making her feel like she doesn't belong to the group. And if we were these reasonable humans, we might not care. But we're not. We're a social species that has evolved to want to be a member of the community, otherwise we die. Otherwise we can't share resources with people, otherwise we don't have the protection from other people, and so on. So group membership has always been extremely important to our species, and to a lot of other species, especially a lot of primates. And so, of course, and because she was saying that she's not really bothered, but I could tell that she was, and I hadn't realized that she might be bothered. And then I'm thinking about the evolution of it, and of course she would be bothered. Of course it would trigger something in you, something unpleasant, to be reminded of the fact that you don't know about our culture, about the culture of the world, as you know, at least the Western world, at least the young Western world. And then my dad talking about this promise of people being gods. We could not, it would be impossible for our species to have evolved such that each individual had a desire to be a god of a universe, or to control that much. Most people feel uncomfortable even just being the leader of a group of, 5 for a group project or something, or in the classroom or whatever. So as soon as you think about evolution, it becomes very clear why Clémence would feel uncomfortable being reminded that she doesn't know about Drake, even though she should be used to it, because there are a lot of things she was saying that she didn't know about growing up as a kid, because she didn't have a TV in her family. And also, if we were what we often think we are, this sort of whatever, these reasonable humans, whatever, we might think that, yeah, people could be interested in being gods of the universe. But no, imagine if each individual in that group, in that community that we were talking about earlier, that we all want to belong to, wanted to be its leader, and then extend that not just to the 150 or the 10,000 people in your community, but to a whole universe. That desire just could not have evolved. Otherwise, everybody would be competing for a leadership position, and we just wouldn't be working together, and so on. We wouldn't be accepting our roles. We wouldn't be each a gear in the system, which is how we've survived. That's it. I want to make this quick. So, and it's really important though. So I'm tempted to make this a longer video, but I will not. So anytime somebody does something weird, thinks something weird or whatever, why might we have evolved to do that? And then it becomes like really clear. It's usually really easy if you know anything about sort of, if you've ever thought about evolution or you've learned about sort of our ancestors or anything, often you can very easily explain a lot of weird behaviors by just looking at what our needs have been as a species. And so this is an example. We needed to belong to a group, and any reminder that we didn't belong to a group is troubling. And we usually would feel a strong desire to fix that so that we can continue to benefit from our group membership. That's it. So, and then also, we often think that we are a certain way, where if you look at evolution, it's like there's just no way that we could have evolved to actually have that desire, have that instinct, or have that behavior. So sometimes we're really frustrated by other people for either not doing a certain thing, and we think, come on, they're a reasonable person, they should do this. But then you look at evolution, you're like, oh, why would there have ever been sort of a natural pressure to develop that behavior, that programming?